Good morning, friends. Greetings and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being, and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place as you listen to The Bright Side every day. You are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 33 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system, it's a regenerating system, it is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, if you have a comment or success story you'd like to share, we want to hear from you on The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number. We love hearing from you. The show is much more interesting when we have a dialogue than a monologue. I can do a monologue. I love doing monologues, but I get sick of hearing my own voice sometimes. I don't want you guys getting sick of hearing my voice either. So give us a shout. 844-236-6010 is our number on The Bright Side. If you want to purchase longevity products, go to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com, or call 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470. And don't forget to take a peek at our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. Everything your skin needs, nothing it doesn't. Your skin doesn't need a lot. The body doesn't need a lot. Cells don't need a lot. Health isn't really that complicated. We so overcomplicate this, folks. Yeah, I go in the weeds. I know. I love quantum. I love electrons, and I love molecules and chemistry. But you don't need to know all that when it comes to taking care of your body because it's on automatic for the most part. A couple little things where we have to tweak, a couple things we have to do. We got to eat correctly. We got to nutriate. We got to make sure we're oxygenating. And then just kind of keep the place clean a little bit. That's pretty much it. It's as simple as that. And if we're not healthy, it only means we got to turn the dial. We got to adjust the dial on the nutrition, on the respiration, and on the keeping the place clean. Avoiding toxins in the first place, and then keeping the place clean, supporting cleaning. That's about it, folks. We don't need 8,000 different diagnoses or whatever, however many there are. There's something like that, 8,000 different diagnoses. This is crazy. And we get all medicalized, and everything's all Latin, and we don't understand what the heck's going on when the doctor tells us we've got amyotrophic lateral sclerosis or hidradenitis suppurativa or whatever the heck they're talking about. Basically, the body clogs up. Things break down. It's not that complicated. We've been talking about the skin as a poster child, as an icon, as an emblem of the entire body. And likewise with the skin. It's not that complicated. The skin's an immune organ. So it's going to respond to assault. Well, we're constantly assaulting the body. Is there any surprise we'd have problems with our skin? The skin is also responsive to the endocrine or hormone system. It's a hormone target. The skin responds to neurology. Don't underestimate psychodermatology. Don't underestimate psychosomaticism. Don't underestimate mind-body. We have this tendency in our culture, present company excluded probably because you wouldn't be listening to me or listening to this program, but the culture thinks it's silly to link the mind to the body. The culture does. The culture's wrong. Oftentimes it is. Psyche and soma are intimately connected. Mind is intimately connected to the body via the vagus nerve. That's what the vagus nerve, the 10th cranial nerve, links the mind to the body. That's why understanding the vagus nerve, leveraging the vagus nerve is so important. Just like leveraging relaxation is so important. You got mind and you have body. And between the two sits emotions. The vagus nerve is the nerve of emotions. And I didn't say feelings, I said emotions. Feelings are different from emotions. The body feels feelings. Feelings are tinglings. There's not that many feelings, by the way. In fact, I can only think of one feeling. We label it differently, but there's really only one feeling. I call it a tingle. And if that tingle is labeled lion, then all of a sudden that tingle is an uncomfortable feeling that you want to get away from. If that tingle is excitement, then you love the feeling. But it's the same tingle. That is so fascinating. If anybody out there is dealing with anxiety issues, understand that what you're doing is you're labeling a nameless, labelless, inherently nameless feeling. Just a feeling. It's a tingle. It's usually in the belly. The belly is the seat of emotions, or feelings, I should say. Yeah, that's why you have a nervous system in your belly. Your belly has a brain called the solar plexus, and it's a major brain, or they call it the enteric nervous system. There's a really cool book out called The Second Brain. I forgot the guy's name who wrote it, but it's all about the enteric nervous system. The belly has a brain. The heart has a brain. The brain has a brain. The skin has a brain. The immune system has a brain. We have multiple brains in our body. By the way, the immune system and the heart are linked together. And and between the belly brain, the heart / immune brain, and the brain in our head, and the skin and the brain are linked together as well. You've got all the intelligence of the body. This is a lot of intelligence, folks. As far as the skin goes, it's connected to the brain. It's a sensor. It's a satellite system. It senses the environment. People say their skin crawls when they get freaked out. The skin is actually sensing the environment. In fact, the skin is sensing the environment independent of the brain. Brain, you get goosebumps involuntarily when you're scared. Hairs go up on the back of your neck, people will say. All that is the skin's response to the environment. The skin is sensing the environment. Membranes sense the environment. The skin is a membrane. Membranes are really, really fascinating, really cool, and really underappreciated. Think membrane, think fats. Say that all the time about the skin. Fats, fats, fats. If you have a skin problem, fats, 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 fats. From a nutritional standpoint, fats. And by that I mean essential fatty acids, and I also mean fatty vitamins, DEEK, and I also mean fatty minerals, or minerals that are processed through the fat system, like zinc and selenium in particular, and all of those play a major role in the skin, the health of the skin. CBD is now being used by dermatologists. I'm not sure exactly the benefits you'll get from topical CBD, but it's being used topically. CBD is a fat. CBD is a derivative of a fundamental cell fat. Make our own CBD. People can have a CBD deficiency, just like they can have an EFA deficiency or vitamin E deficiency or any other fat deficiency. A lot of that has to do with bile. And this is where you get into the digestive system. You can go in the weeds all you want here, but really it boils down to the digestive system, particularly if you have a skin problem, the digestive system, or if you have any problem for that matter. The digestive system, particularly how we process fats and fatty vitamins and the zinc and selenium. And then the blood sugar system, which is your energy system. And then the stress management system. That's pretty much it. Triangle of disease. No matter how you slice it, you're going to come back to the triangle of disease, and you're going to access the triangle of disease physically with nutriate, respirate, move, and rest. And if you really want to do it right and fire on all cylinders, you're going to take advantage of psyche-soma. That is the psychosomatic aspect. That is the mental aspect. The mental aspect of health via the emotions. The emotions are the bridge between psyche and soma. They're the way we think about our feelings. They're the bridge between the mind and the body, and it's manifested in the body by the vagus nerve. So understanding how to do vagal exercise, we'll talk about that when we come back from our break, is really helpful for any health challenge. Telling the body to stand down, basically. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben, or telling the immune system to stand down, I should say. We'll be back on the bright side. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back on the bright side right after this. back on the bright side. Pharmacist Ben here. Got lines open. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you have questions about anything we're speaking about here today or a comment or success story, you can check out the longevity products on our websites, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. And you can also, if you want to talk to a real live person, call 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470. Ask about joining the Brightside Ben team for a one-time $30 fee. You can help spread the word and make some money and earn part-time income, full-time income. You can work from your own home. You can help people, help change the world, help individuals, help your friends and family, help yourself. Longevity is more than just health products. It's also a business skills. There's all kinds of classes that you can take to learn how to use the internet, learn how to use the web for business, and up your game from a business standpoint, from a life standpoint. There's a lot of overlap between business skills and life skills. That's why I like being an entrepreneur so much. Being an entrepreneur is like being a warrior. Being alive is like being a warrior. If you're just alive and you want to have a successful life, you got to have a metaphorical machete that you're chopping all the baloney out of your way with. All the bad information, all the bad people, all the accidents and entropy, all the things that can go wrong with life. It requires a warriorship to really be fully alive. To have a life where you're firing on all cylinders. And the same is true about entrepreneurship. You got to be a warrior if you're an entrepreneur. Not everybody wants to do that. I completely get it. But if that's you, and you like to help people, and you like health, and I know there's a lot of folks that meet those three criteria, this is a perfect business opportunity. Call 866-735-2470 for more info, or sign up on the Brightside Ben. Sign up for the Brightside Ben team at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, criticalhealthnews.com. And then if you're looking for, or even if you're not looking, if you want to check out some super high-end skin health products, healing products for your skin, everything your skin needs and nothing it doesn't, truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. All right, so we're talking about the skin as an icon for the entire body. We said that the skin is responsive to environmental assaults. Likewise, the body is responsive to environmental assaults. The environmental assaults on the skin come from two directions, which is confusing a little bit because we automatically assume when we have something on the skin that it's coming from the outside. This is rare. The skin's barrier function is incredibly, incredibly robust. It takes a lot to disturb the skin barrier. Of course, we've done it. Make no mistake about it. Between the way we eat and the way the nutrients we're missing and all the other things that go wrong in our body, including psychosomatically, we've done a number on the barrier. Nonetheless, the skin, most of the time we have skin problems come from the inside, not the outside. And that's kind of a paradigm shift that has to take place for people who have skin problems, for people who have skin, for dermatologists and doctors and medical professionals. We've got to start to look at the skin as secondary to what's happening inside the body. In the medical profession, we have to do that, and certainly in the esthetician world. It's not fair, I don't believe, it's fair to tell somebody you're going to take care of their skin and not understand how the inside is linked up to the outside. It's just not fair. Because our patients are counting on us. I'm speaking to estheticians now and, skin health people. So have no fear, because that's why I'm here, to help clear up the confusion. Because I've been studying how the inside links up with the outside for 30 plus years since I first heard about it. It just made perfect sense to me. So we're talking about the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the link between the mind and the body. It's your mind-body nerve. It has a relaxing effect for the most part. It will relax things. That's its job, as opposed to the vagus nerve is the main nerve in the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is more, it doesn't have one nerve. It's spread out a little bit more. It doesn't have one major nerve. And that has an opposing effect. It activates the fight or flight response, the non-relaxation response. As far as the skin goes, there's a lot of skin issues that could be linked to problems with the vagus nerve. This is something that we've only recently discovered over the last few years, is that there is a vagal connection to the skin, and activating the vagus nerve can have anti-inflammatory effects on the skin. Reading from the journal Dermatology Therapy, inflammatory diseases are difficult to treat because of a lack of available treatment options for inflammatory skin diseases are difficult to treat because of a lack of available treatment options. That is so important. That, in a nutshell, describes the frustration people have when they have these skin problems, psoriasis. And I talked to a lady that has a condition called morphea, which is not exactly a skin condition, but it's a pigment condition. Eczema, acne. Acne is the worst. I think it is because it affects kids so much and can completely damage your psyche. So inflammatory skin diseases are difficult to treat because of a lack of available treatment options. Boom, that's the first sentence. Second sentence. However, recent advances have shown that vagus nerve stimulation can be used to decrease inflammation and reduce disease severity. Boom, mic drop. Vagus nerve stimulation. Oh, check this out. And reduce disease severity in rheumatoid arthritis and inflammatory bowel disease. By stimulating the vagus, you get anti-inflammatory effects everywhere. The entire body. Changes in cytokine profiles. Cytokines are inflammatory chemicals. Observed in these studies, get ready for this, are similar to those seen with the use of biologics. They work like drugs. Vagus nerve stimulation is a natural drug. It gives you the same benefit as a biologic, which is not only a toxic drug, it's an expensive toxic drug that can cost you 50 or 60 grand a year. That's what these drugs cost. Now, most people don't pay that, but they do. Everybody does via insurance, and this is what our friend Bernie Sanders, nice guy, perhaps he's a nice guy, this is what he wants to do, is make sure everybody has biologics. Not that everybody has vagus nerve stimulators. And let me tell you a lot of ways you can use vagus nerve stimulation, but you know how they do it when they do these studies is they actually electrically stimulate the vagus nerve. Put a little electrical signal on there. And that's vagus nerve stimulation, and it works. But you don't need to have a little electrical device stuck on your vagus nerve. You can do it yourself. There's lots of great strategies for activating the vagus nerve yourself. We should be doing it every morning, or before we go to bed, or in the middle of the day, or whenever we're under stress, or whenever our irritable bowel syndrome is kicking in. One of the best ways to activate, in fact, probably the best way to quickly activate the vagus nerve is to slow, deep, rhythmic breathe. In fact, anything you do rhythmically and slowly will activate the vagus nerve. Slow, deep, rhythmic breathing is perfect because you always have your breath with you. You can do it at any time. But anything you do slowly and rhythmically will activate the vagus nerve. Moving slowly will put you will fire off the vagus nerve. Just walking slowly. Tai Chi. You ever seen those people doing Tai Chi in the parks? They're doing movements really super slowly. Activates the vagus nerve smoothly and slowly. Now, if you're choppy and you're concentrating, it's going to activate the wrong nervous system. So you got to do it smoothly. Walking slowly. Walking with mindfulness. Oh, I'm definitely going to be talking about mindfulness here. That's the latest kind of fad. There's all these magazines now just called mindfulness, but it's the real deal, especially if you're dealing with a health challenge. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back on the bright side right after this. On the bright side, I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time, 24/7 on the archive page at brightsideben.com. There's a search engine up. There's articles at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. Videos. Our moment of truths are up on criticalhealthnews.com. Thank you, John T, for doing that. And by the way, if you want to be on the email list, we're starting to email our moment of truths. Send an email to Robin at Truth Treatments, and we'll send that out to you by email. Let's see what else here. You can get longevity products, of course, off our websites as well, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. And you can sign up to join the Brightside Ben team off the websites as well, or by calling 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470. Love to have you on my team. As a business builder, I can help you build your business. As a healthcare professional, I can help you build your business. It is a health business after all. You don't need to know a lot about health. You'll get taught everything, and if you already have a little bit of understanding about health, that's just more in your favor and more in your interest. If you're a healthcare professional, it's ideal. Even if you're If you're not, you don't have to be a physician. You could be acupuncturist, chiropractor. If you're listening out there and you're a chiropractor or massage therapist or Reiki therapist, this is a great addition to your business, a great way to make a little bit extra money and maybe even a lot of extra money, depending on how much time and energy you want to put into it. Call 866-735-2470 for more information, or click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. All right, we are talking about, I'll get your calls here in just a minute if you're on hold, 844-236-6010. We're talking about the whole idea of mindfulness as activating the vagus nerve, awareness and mindfulness from scientific reports. The effect of mindfulness training on extinction retention. Extinction retention is a measurement of how well you get over fear. Extinction is when your fear is extinguished, you have no more fear, and when you retain that no more fear. People who have anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorder have not extinguished their fear. And sometimes they'll have to go through therapy, but the fear comes back. So how well you retain the extinction is a measurement of how effective therapy and treatment are. And it turns out that mindfulness is one of the best ways to do it. Surprise, surprise. This is from the journal Scientific Report. Let's see. Results showed that the mindfulness group displayed reduced spontaneous recovery of threat-related related arousal responses. They did not freak out as fast. They did not freak out is basically what happened. When you're mindful, you don't freak out as much. When you're mindful, you're not as anxious. Anxiety requires a distance. You have to have a distance to really be anxious. If you dive into the feeling of anxiety, it will go away. If you dive into it, and deconstruct it, if you particularize it, if you pixelize it, if you make it granular, get it into its littlest, tiniest pieces, if you step away and just feel the feeling, it sucks. It totally sucks because your body is on red alert, and that's not supposed to happen. If you have chronic anxiety, that's a big problem. Chronic anxiety issues are behind almost all, to some degree, are behind almost all health challenges. Chronic long-term worry and fear and anxiety. Post-traumatic stress disorder is related. Learning how to dive in and to granulate, to make it into pieces, to deconstruct it into its basic building blocks is key, and that's what mindfulness does. Mindfulness is when you actually are focusing so hard on something, not hard, but focusing, not hard. You don't want to be focusing hard. Focusing hard takes you into a beta state and will activate the sympathetic nervous system. You don't want to focus hard. You want to focus easy. In fact, you can do this with your eyes. You'll notice that when you're focusing hard, concentrating on something, your attention is in the center of your eyes. This activates what's called a beta brainwave state, which is associated with problem solving, but it's also associated with anxiety. On the other hand, if you focus from the sides of your eyes, look peripherally, and soften your gaze, but still pay attention, you will activate alpha and theta brainwaves, which are associated with the vagus nerve and parasympathetic functioning and relaxation. So how you are mindful is just as important as being mindful. Being mindful in a relaxed fashion is how you want to do it. If that sounds like an oxymoron, you need to practice it. Relaxed mindfulness. All right, let me do one more here. We'll get your calls. Krill oil outlook, even brighter than for omega-3s as a whole. Krill oil is awesome, awesome stuff. I am a fan of krill oil. Krill oil has things in it that ordinary fish oil doesn't have, things that help you utilize the oil, especially if you have a liver problem or you've had a gallbladder removed. It's ideal if you had a gallbladder removed. You have a bile issue. There are chemicals, molecules in krill oil that makes it easier for the body to process, specifically phospholipids. There's also astaxanthin in there. So you get carotenoids. You get multiple benefits from krill oil. The only problem with krill oil, as opposed to fish oil, is it's only available that I know of in capsules. So it's not 100%, it's not cost effective. So I suggest do fish oil and do some krill oil capsules. That's my suggestion, because the stuff is just awesome. Major krill oil suppliers expect this subset of omega-3s to outperform the entire sector as a whole in 2020. It's from the journal from the trade journal Nutri-Ingredients. It's kind of cool if you're interested in the business, Nutri-Ingredients. You can go to nutriingredients.com. Krill oil is characterized by its phospholipid form. That means that's the phospholipids that help you process it and digest it, utilize it, which has provided a strong differentiator for ingredients made from krill over standard forms of omega-3s. It is the best way to get your fish oil. It's just that it is pricey. That's the only downside on krill oil. All right. We'll go to the phones. Got lines open, 844-236-6010, and say good morning to my friend Barry in Nolans. What's up, Barry? How you doing, man?
All right. Yes, I want to ask you, so far as maintaining your body alkaline,
you're all over this alkaline thing, aren't you, Barry? This is one of your favorite things to talk about, correct? What's that?
I did so much, and and a lot of people swear by it, and then
swear by what? Swear by what?
That if you maintain your body alkaline, you won't get cancer, and that this is just the way to go.
Yeah, but that's like putting the cart before the horse. You don't maintain your body alkaline so you don't get cancer. When your body's healthy, it's naturally alkaline. Acid it's a really interesting subject, I have to say. What do you do for a living? Are you retired? Are you working? What are you doing? You seem to know a lot of good stuff. So I don't want to talk down to you, but I don't want to complicate things either.
No,
are you a chemist? Are you a chemist?
No, I'm not. No, I don't consider myself as retired, but I'm very much interested in nutrition, and I've been vegetarian for a while. Actually, I'm vegan now. I went back to being vegan about 4 years ago. So, and I'm very much interested in
Where do you ordinarily get your health information from? Actually, hang on to that. Hold on to that thought, because we got to take a break. I want to know where you get, what are your sources usually, just so I know kind of where you're coming from here a little bit. But I do want to talk. I'm going to spend a lot of time, because we don't have any calls, so we'll spend a lot of time talking about oxygenation and alkalinization and alkaline versus acid, etc. So hang tight, Barry. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back right after this. Okay, we're back on The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben, and we're talking to Barry in New Orleans. So where do you get your health information from, Barry, typically?
Well, I get from various sources, the computer.
Just websites, basically? Like websites, when you say the computer, you mean websites?
Yes, sir. And also I'm very much, I like to look at what Pablo Arola says about things.
Who? Pablo Arola. He's like an old timer, isn't he? What's his name? Paulo or Pablo?
Pablo Arola.
Yeah, I read one of his books a really long time ago. So is he a vegetarian?
I don't know, but he's no longer living. But yeah, I look at some of the things he said, and I've had one of his books quite a while back. Also, I get a lot of my information from things you say, and well,
that's a good source. We can't complain about that. What kind of work do you do? What kind of work do you do, or did you do, or?
I used to work in the school system, and right now I haven't been working, but I'm planning on going back to work, not necessarily in the schools, but I don't consider myself as being a person who's just, who's just, living a life of ease for the rest.
All right, I got you. How old are you, can I ask you?
I'm in my 70s.
Okay, gotcha. That's good. All right, just give me a sense. All right, good. So let's talk about alkaline. I keep saying oxygen because oxygen is the main way we alkalinize. That's the way nature designed us to alkalinize, is by oxygen, and that's where breathing comes in. And I did a moment of truth yesterday about breathing, and first thing I said is just because we breathe doesn't mean we know how to breathe. All right? Breathing is incredibly important. I've been talking about it for years. I talk about it almost every day, I'm sure, on this program. On every program, we probably mention at least once something about breathing. It's extremely, extremely important for a lot of reasons. You can go a long time without food. You can go, a week without water, but you can't go 4 minutes without breathing. It's extremely important. Nothing will set you off into fight or flight faster than holding your breath or than suffocation. And now here's the thing. We can have low levels of suffocation. We can just have hypoxia, which means low levels. You don't have to be suffocating fully. And when I talk about dirty blood, one of the main reasons dirty blood is a problem is because oxygen does not get delivered. And it's a big circle because dirty blood can be caused by lack of oxygen, and it can make lack of oxygen's effects worse. So breathing is incredibly important, oxygenation and blowing off carbon dioxide, and that's how you stay alkaline. Now, there are also buffers in the blood that come from the electrolytes. There's ways, and there's also various amino buffers or things like ammonia and that sort of stuff. Now, that have an effect on the pH, urea. They have an effect on the pH of the blood. But for the most part, it's breathing. Now, you do want to make sure that you get your minerals and you're absorbing your minerals and that sort of thing. That's absolutely vital. The pancreas is making sodium bicarbonate, and that has an alkalinizing effect. So you got to make sure your pancreas is working correctly, which of course is part of the digestive system. But the most important thing is breathing. As far as these waters go, these alkaline waters go, it doesn't even make any sense. There's no logical way those can have an alkalinizing effect. Once it gets into the stomach, it's not going to be alkaline anymore. Now, they'll say they put electrolytes in there. That's a little different. But, a lemon has electrolytes in it. Veggies have electrolytes in it. Veggies are the best way to get your electrolytes, and then the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and supplements. And then there's also cofactors that are important that help everything work. So it's not strictly cut and dry with, electrolytes are going to raise your pH. pH, by the way, this is really interesting, Barry. You might like this. I don't know if you've heard me say this before. pH is like, or alkaline, I will say alkaline pH is like a vacuum cleaner. Have you ever heard me say this?
Yes.
Okay, so then it's like a vacuum cleaner. Acid is like a fountain. The difference between a vacuum cleaner and a fountain is the difference between high pH in the blood and low pH. When your pH of your blood is a vacuum cleaner, it's sucking up electrical energy. That's the situation you want to be in. You want to be in a vacuum cleaner situation. When you're in an acid situation, you're doing the opposite. You're losing electrical energy. You're spitting it out. And that's the problem with acid. Now, here's the thing. Acid is a waste product. The more metabolism, the faster your metabolism is going, the more metabolic action you have, like cancer, the more acidic you're going to be because it's a waste product. It's like exhaust from a car or from a machine. Follow me? Yes. So acid is a sign that the body is revved up. What's supposed to happen, if you're healthy, is the acid is supposed to trigger growth. That's the healthy situation. When the pH drops, that sends a signal to grow, to handle the stress. That's why when you work out, you drop the pH in your muscles with lactic acid. You burn. That's called feeling the burn. That's supposed to trigger growth. Acid is a manifestation of the stress response or of a high revved up cellular activity. That's supposed to trigger growth. So the correct answer to acid is to put in electrons. Electrons, by the way, are anti-acid. Electrons neutralize acid. The technical name for an electron, or one of the names of an electron, is an antioxidant. Did you know this? This is what an antioxidant does. An antioxidant neutralizes acid. You follow what I'm saying here?
Yes.
So after you have acids, you want to start putting electrons into the system. The best way to get electrons is from food. That's the best way. That's the way we're supposed to get our electrons, is from eating right. That's why you want to come home from the gym. You want to do your protein. You want to do food that's electron rich, or nutrients that help the body process electrons. Nutrients work with the electron system also. They're involved in the transferring of electrons. The source of electrons is food. And also, interestingly, the sun. Photons get turned into electrons. So the nutrients, they're like carriers. And I'm being very not being really biochemically specific here, accurate, but this is in a general sense. Your biochemist probably, you'd say, well, it's not exactly that way. But for our purposes, the source of electrons is the food, and the carriers of the electrons are the micronutrients. That's why you always want your micronutrients with your macronutrients, because the micronutrients help the body handle the electrons from the macronutrients. I hope I'm not getting too much in the weeds here. And this is why a negative ion generator can be so helpful. And this is why we love negative ions. The other name for electrons are antioxidants, but they're also negative ions. Have you heard of this term, negative ions? Negative ions are, back in the 70s, that was really cool to have negative ions generators. They're still in some hospitals, you'll still find them, and you could buy them on Amazon, negative ion generators. They have these things called Himalayan salt lamps that are also supposed to spew out negative ions, i.e. electrons. I use them in my skincare. And this is one of the most powerful under-leveraged or underappreciated ingredients you could use are electron transfer systems, which is technically what these polyelectrolytes are that we talk about, or electrolytes that come from minerals. So the best way to alkalinize berries to breathe, absolutely positively. You can support it with your supplements and with electrolytes, as I say, digestion and all that. You can support it. But the best way is to breathe, and the waters that have these alkalinizing waters, I'm calling BS personally. I mean, if somebody disagrees with me, I'd love to hear. But I don't see how you can get anything out, except for maybe if there's minerals, that might help a little bit. But you're certainly not going to get. It's not going to leave the pH. It's not going to leave the stomach high pH. Your low pH, your alkaline water, I should say, your high pH water is not going to leave the stomach alkaline. Once it gets in the stomach, it's going to be acidic. The stomach has a pH around 2. Very acidic. All right? That make sense?
Yes, I just love the things you say. But listen, I'm still not clear on whether, in theory, can keeping your body alkaline prevent cancer. In theory, I don't know whether it actually happens. In
theory, it's more like the acid it puts a stress on the cell. Okay? And remember, cancer is a response to stress, or a response to duress. Acid increases the duress. It's not like there's a one-to-one relationship, acid causes cancer. But acid puts a load on the cell that if it's not handled correctly, loads are supposed to be turned into growth. But if the load is not handling correctly over the course of time, that cell will either be killed, which it should happen if the body's operating correctly, or it'll make it through the surveillance system and it can become cancerous. Yes, it can point the body or the cell in that direction. Barry, we're out of time, my friend, but I love talking to you. You're great. Thanks so much for the questions, and have a beautiful day, buddy. Good to talk to you, my friend. And thanks so much for listening to The Bright Side. Don't forget to check out brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com for the longevity products, and truthtreatments.com for our Truth Skin Health products. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side. Have a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.